Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to test asynchronous code in Node.js using its native test runner. Well, in real world applications, most operations are asynchronous, like reading files, making API calls, database queries, everywhere, right? So we need proper ways to test the callback promises and the async await, right? So let's start the lecture. Let's understand that how we can do it. So first of all, what I'm going to show you that I have created three different files: async await, async callback, and the async promise.js. And I will write the code here, and then we will make the test cases and the test file of this particular JS file and test all the cases, right? So let's start. So here I have written a code for the async callback.js file, and what is happening here is basically I have exporting a function named fetch data callback. Inside of this I'm taking callback, right? And what I'm saying that I'm creating a set timeout for 100 milliseconds, and I'm saying that callback null means these are the parameters, right? So callback null and hello world, right? So let's go to the test.js file and see that how we can make the testing of it, right? So we'll create here async callback dot test js, like this. Got it? Inside of this, first of all, what we'll do, we will import test from, since we are going to perform the test, right? So we will use the inbuilt node test, like this. And after that, we will do what? We will import assert from node assert, right? Like this. Got it? Now after that, we will import this particular function inside here. So let's just make it import from async callback dot js file, right? Like this. Now after doing this, let's write the code for the testing. So first of all, we need to write test, then put a bracket here, and inside of this, let's write the message that it should return all. Let me just write the name again. Fetch data callback should return uh, hello world, right? Hello world, like this. So after writing this, we need to just put a comma here and create an arrow function like this. And here I will write t comma done, right? Two different parameters. And here inside of it, I'll write fetch data callback, which we have imported here, right? And after that, let's put a bracket and again a bracket, and here err is showing the error, and the second one is data, and assert dot strict equal data comma hello world, like this. Got it? And then done. That's it. So we use done to tell the runner that the callback is now completed, right? So let's do what? Let's just run it and see that whether it is working or not, right? I think everything is done now for the callback. Okay, let's clear it out and let's write node dash dash test and press enter. And you can see that yes, the fetch callback function should return hello world. This particular test is correct here, right? It is correct. So this is how we do the testing of callback with the help of Node.js Native Test Runner. Now let's move forward toward the async promise.js file. So here I have written the function that is fetch data promise, and inside this I'm returning a promise where I'm having the resolve, as you know, right? We use the resolve to check that when the data is got resolved, right, when the query is fully completed. So set timeout and then resolve hello promise after 100 millisecond. So after 100 millisecond, it should give a hello promise to me, right? Means it should print this or give as a result basically, right? So let's create a test for this also. So what I'll do, I'll write async promise dot test dot js, right, like this. And now let's start the working of this particular test file. So first of all, what we will do, let's just copy this two lines. We need to import here also, so let's paste it here like this. And after that, let's import the fetch data promise from async promise file, right? So .js, let's put .js here. Now after that, let's write test, and inside this fetch data promise should resolve with hello promise, like this, right? It's not like, let's put a comma here and then create an arrow function. Let's create an arrow function like this, and inside this I'll write return fetch data promise, right, dot then. We use the then, right, then keyword after like promise to get the result basically, right? So like this. And after that, I'll just write assert dot strict equal and data comma hello promise. Let's just do one thing. Let's copy it from here. So here I'm doing what? I'm writing that particular result, right? So it will make the condition or check for the equal that the data that is coming basically is equal to this hello promise or not, right? If it is, then the test is successful, otherwise the test will fail, right? So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's clear it out and write node-test and press enter. And yes, it is correct, right? You can see fetch data promise is now correct. Why? Because it is returning the same result which we were expecting from that particular function of the promise, right? This is how we work with it. Now the last part of the lecture is to make the testing for the async await. We will create a file name async await dot test dot js. Press enter. Inside this I'll just paste these lines from the top. Let's copy it out and let's paste it here. After that, for this I'm going to use the same fetch data promise, right? Where it on this one, right? I'm using this to show you that whether or how it works. So I'll write import fetch data promise from async promise.js file, right? And after that, let's write test, and let's write the name of test, that fetch data promise with async await, right? Let's put a comma and write async, and here I write const data equals to await and fetch data promise. So first of all, what I'm doing, I'm creating a wait for this particular function to run, and whatever the result I'll get will get stored inside this data, right? And after that, I'm doing what? I'm just writing assert dot strict equal, and I'm writing that data is equals to the hello promise or not, right? Not like this. Let's take this hello promise from here and write it here like this. Got it? So this will do what? This will mark the test function as the async, right? Let's save it and go to the terminal, and let's write the node-test. Press enter, and you can see fetch data promise with async await is now correct. Why? Because it has taken the less time, right? Basically, it is asynchronous, basically, right? So what is happening here? is that I'm first storing the value that is coming as the output from that particular function, and then I'm making it equal that whether that particular data is equals to this or not. If I had not used this async await in that particular case, since the promise is returning, let me show you this. This is returning the result after 100 milliseconds. But if we had not used this async await, right, then in that particular case, it will directly make it equal to this. And since the value will not come from this particular function before the 100 milliseconds, and this particular line will get executed and it will show that the result is wrong, right? So this is how we do the testing in the async await and all the callback and the promises in the Node.js native test runner. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.